Hi, my name is Victoria Holly. I'm owner and designer of the firm Victoria Holly Interiors. We're a design firm based in Los Angeles and working on projects across the country. I always knew I wanted to be an interior designer, but I didn't always know that that was a career option. And so ever since I was 5 years old, I was, clipping out of furniture images from Elle Decor, Architectural Digest, and putting together rooms and mixing things up, and really inspired by, my own interiors and my own room growing up. And then when it came to schooling, I didn't realize that that was something you could study. And I was very fortunate enough to intern with a really prominent design house and then later work for them and get my background in interior design and understand the inner workings of the firm before I ultimately started Victoria Holly Interiors. But I would say I always knew from a very young age that that's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get there. We work on both residential and commercial projects. I think I slightly prefer residential because it's such a meaningful process for me to really take someone's home and make it better for them and make it beautiful and make it what they want. Especially in Los Angeles, where we have, not a lot of inventory on the market and not a lot of great inventory on the market. And so what happens is people end up buying homes that they don't love. And instead of, getting ultimately, what was the case 40, 50 years ago, getting your dream home right away. And so I love being able to make a meaningful impact in people's lives and give them, how can we work to create a 1980s style home and make it into this traditional East Coast style home? How can we transform a space? It's a wonderful thing how many innovative and awesome designs there are in furniture and how many amazing things they come up with every day. And you just see something new on Pinterest and you're like, that's an incredibly designed sofa. That's awesome. But, it also comes with implications of before a sofa would last you, both in style maybe and also just in how well it was made, for 30, 40 years. And now it's 2 to 4 years is the reality before someone might want to, unless we're truly customizing something. But if it's retail, before someone wants to change up their look. And usually this is more separate of someone who's hiring a designer, right? If someone's hiring a designer, usually they're looking to make that investment more long-term. It's a challenge we're going to have to face as an industry because we are adding a lot to pollution and waste and obviously sustainability we have, I don't think there's been talked about, maybe there has been, but there's fast fashion. There's also a lot of fast furniture out there. And that's a great thing and it has its need. And they're cool designs and they're fun and not everyone can afford to spend on a once in a lifetime table and they shouldn't have to, but it's also sucks that a table goes through all this design process and all this manufacturing and the cargo shipped to the US and a year later it's on the street. People more and more are craving, especially just regular clients who have access to Pinterest and have access to, all these furniture retail companies now that used to be trade only and now, have a whole retail sector. It's hard for people to find things that they've never seen before. It's hard for us to find things that we've never seen before. And so clients really want, they don't want to be presented with, oh yeah, my friend has that table, or oh yeah, I've seen that before. They really want to be able to see things that are familiar to them in a sense of design, but that they've never seen before. And so that's something where antiques and vintage furniture really comes into play. We also do a lot of custom because I find that clients, obviously some projects really call for a custom sized sectional or sofa that truly fits in their space. And the nice thing about that is I know that that's a piece that they're investing in and that they've waited for, that they're definitely going to hold on to for a long time. And so that that's really special too to me, because I know that that piece was made with so much love and care, and that they'll hold on to for a long time. And for clients that are moving from house to house, just given the realities of the housing market, we always figure out is like, what's your style at this last house that we did? What's your style at the next house? Especially for millennials, that's an ongoing theme of like, your style's evolving, your lifestyle's evolving. You maybe or newlyweds, now you have 3 kids, or your life changes pretty rapidly at that age in terms of your lifestyle needs. But instead of getting rid of what we had designed in the other place, how can we repurpose it? Did a stand-up comedy intensive class, and it was a 10-week course. It was really intense. It was about 10 to 15 hours a week. And I did it in the evenings and on the weekends. It had been something that was always on my list. And I had some health issues. And so I was like, now's the time, I'm going to do it. And then at the end of the class was a full stand-up show with 200 people. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. It was also one of the best things I've ever done in my life. It was such a challenge. One, it brought you back to so much of stand-up comedy is writing and really bringing in the audience, and figuring out common threads between people and what they think is funny. And so it was also working in a group environment of like more colleague status, which I hadn't done in a while. So much of design is we're working with vendors and on the road and with clients, and it's like, you don't necessarily have as many sit down moments as like a class for 6 hours. And so it was a really wonderful experience that really pushed my brain. And I'd never done any acting or any performance or anything. And almost everyone in the class had been in acting before. And everyone was like, I'm an actor, I'm this. And I was like, I'm an interior designer.